live from the YouTubes. It's Sunday, July 28th, the day after Hall H, Marvel Comic-Con, the madness that we got to experience last night. And you know what? I am so excited to talk about it today. Welcome back to the channel. I got to spend some time with you all last night when I did my immediate, and I mean literally the second I saw the news, immediate reaction video to this news that we're going to hit on in a massive way today. We're going to talk about all the Comic-Con madness. We're not only going to talk about that, we're going to talk about a little bit of Deadpool Wolverine as well. The box office numbers are in for the weekend, at least the estimates, and oh my God, Marvel is on the highest of highs that they've been on in quite some time with this and Comic-Con and the Deadpool box office. But are some of the decisions that they made and decided to showcase last night, are they good decisions? Are they ones that are going to work for the future? Oh my goodness. I am so excited to talk to you all today, to hear your thoughts, to see your thoughts. This is a live stream, so this is your place and space to talk about all the things that you want to talk about and ask the questions that you want some answers to, because we got to answer some of these crazy questions. Also, we just haven't done a live stream in a little bit, so I really want to take some time and talk about this Marvel news and maybe create some individual videos from this, but also just see what you all have to say about it, because there's a lot to say about it. If you go on Twitter, there's so much to be said about Robert Downey Jr. and his return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You all let me know if everything's going well. We had some Wi-Fi issues this week, but we're back up. We're going strong, and we have some exciting things to talk about. Just some things that I have to plug off the bat, man. First of all, to everyone who's been giving some love to the Movie Mode podcast, man, we've got yet another. I mean, we've had 2 episodes this week already, but another episode coming out tomorrow where we are covering all of this Marvel madness in depth and detail, talking about some DC as well, but everything that happened during Comic-Con. But not only are we doing the Movie Mode podcast, we got another podcast happening. That's tonight. We're going live to talk Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers. That is Pop X Cast. Haven't done an episode of one of those in a while. We're doing a reunion show talking about Deadpool, Wolverine, and all of the crazy cameos, man. But you all have gotten to experience some spoiler videos from me this week, not only on my channel, but on John Flickinger's channel, The Flick Pick. He just posted his review today. I'm a part of that. So, John, thanks for having me on, pal. Appreciate that. But I want to get into this chat room and see, and can I be honest with you all, to see some of these, I'm going to have to do a lot of squinting and a lot of looking, because my glasses broke, so I'm a little blind right now. So we're going to try our best here. But let's see who all is in the chat before we get going with some of this crazy Comic-Con madness. First of all, we have a random question. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but hey, Austin, okay, we've got, let's see who this is here. Zelda Fan 198. With RDJ News, do you think Marvel could potentially pull this off like they were able to with Hugh Jackman and Deadpool? I think that's a good comparison. Lots of people I'm seeing making that comparison with Hugh Jackman. Are they going to defile the movie, one of the greatest X-Men movies ever, and Logan, defile the grave of Logan himself, or is it going to be a warranted comeback? I think we're seeing that from the box office numbers, but a very similar situation. That one worked. Is Robert Downey Jr. going to work? We have DJC in the chat. 4 days to my birthday. DJC, happy early birthday. I had a birthday recently. Wanted to do a live stream, didn't have time, but congratulations, happy birthday. And to all the early birthdays, the August babies. Here we go. Who else has a B-day in August? Happy early birthday to all of you all. Let's see who else is here. He hath risen. I assume you're talking about Tony Stark. Not entirely sure, but that's a very interesting way to put it. Marvel be getting desperate, and that's the word we're going to keep hearing, is desperation. And I talked about that in my video last night. Is Marvel truly, and we'll discuss it here in a second, so desperate that they're just clawing at anything to get them recognition again? It's going to bring people to the theater. That's a for sure thing. I mean, this movie could make all the money, all right, if they handle it right. But all of that depends on word of mouth, and all of that depends on if they actually handle this return well. And again, we're going to discuss that here in just a second. Hey, Austin, what is going on? ZJ13. Nick says they chose the wrong Oppenheimer actor for Dr. Doom. Give me Killian. I like that. I saw that a lot on Twitter last night. I thought that was hilarious. I even tweeted something similar out as a little joke myself. But yeah, I think that's a hilarious thing to say, because Cillian Murphy was a big fan cast for this character, man. A massive fan cast. So it's fascinating to see that they went with the Oppenheimer actor, but not the one that people thought. I'll go with the RDJ casting, but, says Bradley, I think Doom should have been someone else like Armie Hammer, maybe not Armie Hammer, or Adam Driver. Yeah, I think a lot of people were saying like a Cillian Murphy. I know Adam Driver was rumored for a bunch of characters at a point, and even some people saying Michael Fassbender, which would have been, I guess, technically, if they're combining universes, a variant of Magneto, but people wouldn't have been as stressed about it because that was a completely separate thing for so long. So, yeah, I saw some fan casts for a lot of people, but I did see some people joke around and say, man, what if they brought back Robert Downey Jr. to play this character? And that's what they're doing. Bradley also says, Deadpool and Wolverine, let's go. We're going to talk about that box office here in just a second. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. For everybody who is here right now, hey, if you are here, I know the banner's been scrolling for a little bit. If you want to support this video, man, we haven't done one of these live streams in a bit, okay? But what I always say, and what means the most to these live streams, and I appreciate it, is if you drop a like. First of all, that lets me know you like them. Second of all, it really does help the video. And I would love to get this video out there today because we got some really important topics to talk about. So if you guys want to drop a like, that would be amazing. Help the algorithm, help the video, and just kind of help get the word out. What's the meme? Get the word out that we're back up, baby. We're back up. We're doing a live stream again, man. It's been way too long. I feel like John Flickinger taking all these long breaks. You all don't deserve that, so let me know if you enjoy that. Also, and we do have a super chat. We're going to get to that just in a second. But if you guys want to drop a super chat and ask some very important questions involving and regarding the MCU, the future, Comic-Con, where it's going, to make sure that I answer those questions, and of course to support the channel, I would appreciate that. But thank you all for being here and just hanging out nonetheless. Austin, I love you, and Flickinger Deadpool review together. Yeah, so I had a review on my channel, my main Deadpool review that had Mr. Flickinger, and then of course the one on his channel that he dropped today, our spoiler review together. So go to John's channel. I know all of you are subscribed, and check that out as well. Thank you so much, Austin. I appreciate it. DJC, you're the best. Thank you for always being here. I don't think Bradley has been reading the news about Armie Hammer. Yeah, that Armie Hammer thing was interesting. We're not going to fan cast Armie Hammer on this channel. I'll tell you that much. Maybe if we're... No, you know what? I had a joke. Not going to say it. I'm going to see Deadpool 3 August 5th. All right, so we got about a week until you're seeing Deadpool 3. No spoilers, people. If you spoil, I'm kicking your ASS out of this chat, never to see the light of day again. So please don't do that. This is not a spoiler show. My spoiler review is on the channel. I dropped it yesterday, so go check that out, and John's as well. And we're going to be spoiling it on PopX Cast tonight, which I already plugged at the beginning of the show. Mads Mikkelsen as Dr. Doom would have been great. Yes, that's a great fan cast. He's already been in the MCU. Okay, so again, we're recasting a lot of people that have already been in the MCU, but I think that's like the perfect type of guy to play that role. Let me like this video for Austin, my second baby, after Flickinger. Thank you so much. Yeah, Flickinger's the man. He's the man. It's almost 20 of the night for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. 11 in the morning. No, for me, it is actually 3 p.m. right now. So right in the middle of the day, baby, smack dab in the middle. And guys, we're going to talk about this news here in just a second. Just acknowledging everybody in the chat. Sonic Boom fan, we're talking about the Lego movie. We're going to try to keep focus on Marvel Sonic Boom fans, so we'll save that for another live stream later. I'm not going to lie, this news has neither hyped or anything. I'm just so disconnected from the franchise to even bring me to care to the current narrative saga. That's fair, and that's very fair. A lot of people are disconnected right now, but I think the goal of what Marvel's trying to do is to bring people back in. That's what they're attempting to do. Okay, whether it works or not, I have no idea. Let's go ahead and get to our first super chat of the day from Paul. Paul, thank you for being here. Thanks for leaving the super chat, supporting the channel. As always, that means a ton to me. But Paul says, stunt casting and fan service at their worst. So Paul is pissed. Paul's not happy. I'm sorry, Paul. We want Paul to be happy today. Yeah, I understand that. Look, is this stunt casting? Yes, almost by definition, this is stunt casting because we're bringing back the guy who started it all. We're bringing back the box office draw, the main box office draw, I would say. Obviously, you have the characters, but then you also have the actor, Robert Downey Jr. He was a big part of that. And so bringing that back is, in a way, stunt casting. And fan service, I don't know if I would agree with fan service because I don't know if a lot of fans were asking for this. Now, a lot of fans are cool with it. And a lot of fans are excited about the news, but I don't know if we were necessarily asking for it. I think a lot of fans were asking for Cillian Murphy or for Mads Mikkelsen or for Michael Fassbender. I don't know if a lot of fans were asking for Robert Downey Jr. So I wouldn't call this decision fan service because I didn't hear a lot of people calling for it. I just saw some people joking about it on Twitter, like, wouldn't it be funny if Robert Downey Jr. was locked in for life, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I don't know if I would agree with that, Paul, but I get the frustration. I think it's, in a way, it's a desperate move. It is stunt casting, if you want to phrase it like that. But me being, trying to remain, it's hard to when you're on Twitter all the time, an optimist about this kind of thing. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. If they do it right, if they handle it with care, if they adapt some of these strategic storylines from the comics, whether it be some of these specific stories from Secret Wars, and then obviously the moments in the comics where like Anthony Stark turned evil, this and that. There are ways that they can adapt stories or pieces of stories from the comics to make this work. Now, whether they do that or not, I don't know. I don't know if that's their plan or if they just saw what happened with Jonathan Majors and said, we got to pivot. What are we going to do? You know, like somebody put on Twitter last night, and I can't remember who it was, so not going to shout you out because I don't remember your name. But they said in wrestling, when a match gets canceled, they have to go up a level and kind of bring in something huge to kind of make it okay and make fans think that that they care in this way, or just to draw attention away from the canceled match. Well, with this, we had the Kang Dynasty planned. We had Kang as an integral central force in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's been canceled. And so how are we going to make fans happy, draw attention away from that to where they're just going to forget about it? Well, you could bring back Robert Downey Jr. And I'm not saying I agree with that decision, but that is the kind of decision that I'm talking about here. You're going to make it the biggest possible announcement you could. And what bigger thing to announce than RDJ back in the MCU? Now, he's not Iron Man, which is great, because I feel like that would kind of ruin that legacy, or at least that version of Iron Man. But now that we're in the multiverse space and there are variants, we have the opportunity to do maybe a variant of Tony Stark and make him evil, make him Victor Von Doom, or just make him Victor Von Doom. That would make a lot less sense. It has to be a variant of Tony Stark. It just has to be. A version of Tony Stark that goes evil, turns into Doctor Doom, craves power once he finds out about the multiverse. And there's I can't remember exactly which story it is, but there's a panel in the comics where Doctor Doom just lays it on Thanos. And that sounded weird. He just destroys Thanos. And I mean, it's amazing. It would be crazy. And this is something that would get my blood pumping if they recreate that in the movies. And somehow their version of Thanos and this version of Tony Stark just runs right through him and absolutely destroys him. Just takes the gauntlet right off him, backhands him, and says, it's my universe now. That would be cool. And so there are really cool things they can do with this. And I mentioned in the video last night, the Spider-Man element of it all, Tom Holland, that character, acknowledging that, and Paul, I want to say thanks again for the super chat, but acknowledging that you could absolutely make an emotional, an impactful, emotional, phenomenal moment between those two if they truly have those two meet, and if they truly want this version of Doom to go up against the version of the Avengers that we know, man. That would be super cool. And I would be absolutely okay if they decided to do something like that to give you the emotional stakes necessary for a decision like this to be okay. First of all, you're going to have to get all the people who are completely out on this decision back in. But second of all, you need this Avengers to try to try and match the emotions of Infinity War and Endgame. Because with every passing Avengers movie, we want to up the stakes. Now, I know not everyone's going to like that. Sometimes we want to go more grounded, but that's kind of the way it's going to have to be until they reboot the universe. And what better way to start the universe with Robert Downey Jr. to maybe end this universe with Robert Downey Jr. and reboot the entire thing with the X-Men and maybe this version of the Fantastic Four. I think it would be cool if the next version of the MCU that we see starts with the Fantastic Four in their universe. They travel forward to the future, and it's a new X-Men team, and then down the road, we can get new versions of the characters that we know. That's what I think would be cool. I don't know if they're going to do it. Are they too scared to reboot this universe and throw away everything they've been building up for the past few years? I don't know, but there are a lot of things that they can do. And so I'm excited to see what they will do, but I'm also terrified that this decision right there was just a last-second decision that they haven't thought out as well just yet. And they knew there was going to be backlash to this. No doubt in my mind they knew it. But they also knew there would be excitement, and people will show up to the theater. It's just whether they can deliver or not. So let's see what you all are saying just about this subject specifically. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Felipe. Thank you for being here. We have Roscoe saying they will create it, but instead of Thanos, it will be Kang. Ooh, I like that. That's a way to do away with Kang. Just have this version of Doctor Doom absolutely destroy him. That would be awesome. I love that. We have Marvel is kind of course correcting and trying to get back to the right track. I've enjoyed all the post-Endgame MCU movies, but a lot of fans have not been all aboard. A lot of fans have just been completely turned off by the entire thing. And that's what makes me think that they're trying to go back to those nostalgic elements of pre-Endgame that work so well for a lot of people because some of these decisions that they've been making just haven't paid off. I respect those decisions. I respect something like a She-Hulk. I just thought the execution was really poor. And so don't get those two things twisted. The idea of wanting to do something different is exactly what they should have done. I just don't know if it paid off. Like Eternals, very different movie from Marvel, didn't necessarily pay off for a lot of people. Imagine this line, Spider-Man, Mr. Stark, Dr. Doom, there's no Stark, only Doom. Ooh! All right, scratching my comic book itch. I see what you're doing there. It does give me more emotional depth to the multiverse concept, similar to Spider-Verse and going outside comic book movies, everything everywhere all at once. Yeah, that's a good comparison to make. I mean, we've seen the multiverse handled perfectly, and those two examples are perfect. G. Colby P. Spider-Verse, Everything Everywhere All at Once, the two best multiverse movies, or three best, because there's two Spider-Verse movies, that I've ever seen. I would put those three above Deadpool and Wolverine, above No Way Home, all of those. But, you know, this is a different circumstance because this is a different kind of movie that we're getting. It's not that kind of depth. It's a big blockbuster to bring in a crowd. Now, RDJ may bring that, like he did to the character of Tony Stark. Whether he does, or whether they allow it to happen, I don't know. So basically, Loki was pointless. You know, I wouldn't say Loki was pointless because it did. So the payoff with Loki and what he actually does at the end of season 2, that means a lot to me personally because the way they wrapped up his specific character. Now, did it have a lot to do with Kang? Yes, but you could actually say the way that Loki ended kind of tied a bow on the Kang storyline, to be honest. I mean, I know you got all those Kangs out there that we saw at the end of Ant-Man. By the way, Ant-Man Quantumania, completely pointless now. It's a pointless movie, all right? It always was kind of pointless, but now it's really pointless, so I'll just say that much. But, you know, what we got with Loki Season 2 wrapped a nice bow on it, and it gave us a beautiful end to Loki's story, or at least told us what he has to do, his mission, if he chooses to accept it. This decision is a little scary for the future of the MCU. I would say it's scary. It puts a little fear in my heart, gives me a little excitement, gives me a little like, oh, at least they're... It's funny they're trying to spice it up, but they're trying to spice it up with something we've seen before. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like, yeah, this is a bold decision by bringing back who everybody knows as the ultimate MCU character as a different character. But it's just, I'm so divided on this decision. That's what's crazy about it to me. I will say, guys, I've got a lot of great RDJ questions. I do want to talk about the Fantastic Four here in just a second. So if you have questions about that, let's see. Why would you feel Bowser sings? How would you feel if Bowser sings? Again, we're going to try to keep it Marvel focused today. I've never seen so many babies on Twitter in my life after the RDJ announcement. I don't want to call people babies because I do genuinely feel that this is kind of a desperate decision. Now, what you're saying, I did see a lot of people on Twitter like, I'm never going to watch a Marvel movie. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're lying. Through your teeth, you're lying. I'm done throwing away this universe. It's a disgusting, like, that kind of stuff to me is a little ridiculous because you haven't seen it yet. Like, you can be mad at the decision. You can think it's desperate. You can think it's just kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And let's keep going back to the well, and we'll keep going and going until it runs dry. And I don't know if the Robert Downey Jr. well will ever run dry because he's such a draw. But you can feel all of those things. But to say this is going to be a disaster, like it will 100% be a disaster, that's crazy. That's lunacy, because some of us said the same thing about Hugh Jackman and Deadpool and Wolverine. And the way that they handled that, I thought was as solid as they possibly could have. Does part of me wish they would have left it alone with Logan? Absolutely. But I loved Deadpool and Wolverine, so I'm happy we got it. And we got it because of the multiverse storyline. I'm just saying. You can be mad at the multiverse. But then if you like Deadpool and Wolverine, well, we only have that because of the multiverse. Otherwise, he would have had to defile Logan's grave and bring him back to life. And so that's the only way we got that movie. There's a lot that we can say. But yeah, I do think some people are taking it overboard by saying, I'm never watching another MCU movie. It's like, dude, chill out. It's not that big of a deal. You've got life, you eat and sleep. Things are more important than that. So don't get that mad. RDJ's Doom will definitely appear in the Fantastic Four end credit scene. Yeah, I completely agree. I think he will. Now, I do think this is an interesting conundrum for Marvel, right? They can make his Doctor Doom that Fantastic Four's Doom, or they could make him just another variant of Doom and have another Doom show up later on. And if they do indeed reboot the universe with Fantastic Four, I would prefer it if they had just another variant of Doom, like their own version, a different actor. That's what I would prefer. So I do think he could be in the post-credit scene to set up the next Avengers movie. I just don't think he should be on their world. I think he should be in a different world. That way, he's the ultimate Doom. Everybody fights him. They beat him. And then when we get the Fantastic Four individually, they get their own version of Doom to fight down the road. I think that would be cool. Now, you can absolutely say, well, Austin, but at that point, he's not going to be as good as the RDJ Doom. No, but the more grounded elements could really work for a character like Doctor Doom. That's where my head's at, right? If you keep that version distinguished from the RDJ version, it could work. And again, we've never really had a good Doom before. So I'm open to more interpretations than just Robert Downey Jr.'s, because I'm open to a couple of good Doctor Dooms. I think that would be really cool. Let's see. I suspect that treatment of RDJ will be okay. We're not going to try to spoil. Shouldn't have clicked on that. That's my bad. Also, Austin, kind of off topic, but I'd love to see a room tour Blu-ray collection video. Yeah, I would like to do one of those. I've said 1,000 times, my pop figure collection's just kind of sitting there right now. I would say collecting dust, but I've tried to clean it lately. That would be really fun. Once we shift back to the other set, which I think we're going to here soon, I would love to do something along those lines. And once I get my new stereo, I'm working on getting a soundbar stereo down here to kind of change things up. So I'm excited about that. Let's see. Man, we got so many good questions today. Hey, if you're here, I know we do have over 30 likes, which is amazing. If you guys haven't dropped a like yet, that would be awesome. I appreciate all of you all being here, all of you all asking amazing questions. There's so much to talk about with this Robert Downey Jr. stuff. It's insane. And then, of course, super chats. Easiest way to ask a question. Let me know all the things that you want me to know. I can you all believe this is a thing? I just can't believe this is a thing. It still doesn't seem real to me. It just feels like I'm living in a fantasy world. Like, what is that? Now, say what you will about the casting, the decision, all of that. And I put this on Twitter. He's going to crush it. He's going to crush it. He's now an Oscar-winning actor. He's by far the most interesting actor we've had play Doctor Doom, and by far the most talented. So he's going to be amazing as the character. It's just all of those hesitations that I brought up before. Those are the big hesitations for something like this crazy decision. Matthew says, I'm shocked. Yeah, I'm still shocked. It feels like I'm living in a fantasy land, man. Movies are good if they brought back Hugh in a satisfying way, then they can bring back anyone. They can, but just because one works doesn't mean another one will, right? Just because people show up for the first Captain Marvel doesn't mean they'll show up for the second one. Just because, Logan's amazing doesn't mean X-Men Origins Wolverine's going to be amazing. It's just, it varies per subject, per individual, per movie. We have to treat each one like their own thing. But that is a good point, right? They've done it once. They can do it again. And that's the optimism I'm choosing to have. I hope they do it again. I just think it's such an obvious and desperate move, man. That's what I can't get out of my brain. I can't wait for Spider-Man to confront Doom and say, I hate you 3000. God, Josh, that's my brother. Oh, my God. Oh, God, Josh, listen, man. Listen, absolute cinema. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, bro. Stupid. What are you doing here? Get back to work. It's Sunday. You're not working. What are you doing? Hey, let's go play pickleball, man. I need to get off my butt and go play some pickleball. I also need some glasses so I can see. I have glasses, but they're broke. Do you guys want to see my broken glasses? Where are they? Here they are. Look at this. So they snapped in half. I had to glue them with some glue, and the glue was black, so it looks pretty bad. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Thanks, man. If Peter says, I hate you 3000. Jesus Christ. Actually, I can see so much better now. I should keep these on. I'm so 50-50 on this. Yeah, I am too. I'm 50-50. My brain says no, but my heart says yes, and my gut says I'm hungry. So there's a lot of different emotions happening right now. I am so hungry. Tyler with the super chat. Next super chat of the day, Tyler Rod. Great name. My friends who are not Marvel fans are super excited about RDJ coming back. I'm confused why people are upset. It's the multiverse saga. It is the multiverse saga. Now, there are plenty of reasons to be upset. I've mentioned them all throughout this thing, so I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. But yeah, it's the most obvious move to make to bring Robert Downey Jr. back, but it's like he had such a good ending, such a good death as Tony Stark, and I just don't want to feel while I'm watching this like, man, they should have just left it alone. They should have just left it alone. That said, Tyler, you make a good point. I got a bunch of texts last night. People who were very excited about this news. None of them really hardcore movie fans. It's a lot of general audience members, which is most people, by the way. We're the ones that aren't. I want to say not normal. We are the outliers. There aren't a lot of people like us. We're a very niche group. We go to the movies all the time. I'm a nut job. I see 3 movies a week in theaters sometimes. I'm crazy. I'm a psycho. I'm nuts. But most people aren't like that. Most people don't do that. Most people see 5 movies a year. Okay? All those guys are excited about it. Every single text I got, excited about this news. Every single text. And so, while this is not appealing to film Twitter, it's not appealing to a lot of us, there is a vast majority of people out there that are going to see this news, hear this news, maybe 2 weeks from now, because they don't pay attention to it, and be like, oh, that's cool. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. Awesome. Let's do it. That's why they did it. There's your decision, folks. They are excited because Marvel is bringing back Robert Downey Jr. They're not thinking in depth about it like we are. They're not sick and tired of this because they haven't seen every Marvel movie. Most people haven't seen every Marvel movie since Endgame. That's just the way it is. So we are the outliers. I will fully acknowledge that. And most people that I've talked to outside of this space are excited about this decision because it's Robert Downey Jr. back in the MCU. That's going to get people excited. If we tell them it's a variant of Iron Man, they'll be like, oh, cool. Sweet. And so let's acknowledge that, right? We may be upset. I'm 50-50 again, but most people are excited. And that's why they're doing it. Because they're going to bring in the cash, baby. Bring in the box office cash. Let's go. Okay, let me screenshot that. Let me go down here, guys. See what other questions we got. We got so many good questions. Should try Zinni. Well, that's funny, Bradley. That's where I got these glasses, and that's where my next glasses are coming from. I got them from Zinni. Now, what does that say about the quality of them? That I just snapped them in half by pushing them up on my nose? I don't know, but my next pair is coming from Zinni, and I did order. I expedited my shipping. Getting ready for a Brave New World, honestly. Yeah, Brave New World looks pretty good, man. I love seeing Harrison Ford on stage hulking out. That was awesome. If you guys didn't see that, do a quick Twitter search of Harrison Ford hulking out. Amazing. DJC said, my glasses are broken too. I had to put tape on it. Yeah, this is actually my second pair that broke. First pair has tape. Doesn't work great, but this right here, man. That glue, amazing. Amazing. Epoxy glue, I think it was called. I heard Rin brought this idea, but what if the villains are the Illuminati played by the OG 6 Avengers, including RDJ's Doom? That's interesting. Yeah, it's things like this, man. If they go hardcore comic-y stuff, I think there's a good chance it is going to be quality. But my fear is they're trying to do a new thing, and the new thing's just going to be a really expedited process. And it's not going to have the depth necessary to bring him back. But I don't hate that idea at all. I'm really open to a lot of these comic booky ideas, man, because there's some really good ones. There's some things they could pull from, switch up just a little bit, and it'll be awesome. Looks like one of those The Boys parody movies where they bring back soups who are essentially dead. Yeah, that's one thing about the multiverse that I don't like either. I don't like it about Deadpool and Wolverine, but where it is a different character, my brain just goes, oh, okay, it's a different character. Fine. Because in the comics, there are variants. But it's the multiverse. People die. You can always bring them back. And so when they close off the multiverse, which I think they'll do after Secret Wars, no more of that. You get your Tobey Maguire. You get your Hugh Jackman. You get your Andrew Garfield. All of them will probably come back for Secret Wars. That's not a spoiler. That's just duh. Just use your brain for 10 seconds. I think they'll close off the multiverse. So hopefully that'll be it. And Austin, hope your day goes well. Hey, what's going on? What's up? One of my favorite Twitter follows. Hope your day is going well. It's going amazing. I'm having a great day today. My wife made tomato bisque last night, and she made her own bread. Let me show you the bread. Look, I know it's a Marvel video, but I was so impressed with this. I just want to show you the bread that my wife made. It's just spectacular. Look at this. Let me turn this brightness down. I don't care if you want to see it or not. You're going to look at it. Look at that. She made that from scratch. Not even a bread machine. I'm so impressed with her. She's just the best. Get you a husband or wife that can make bread. Body of the Lord. Delicious. Making your own bread is impressive. She is so impressive. I was so proud of her. I was gone all day yesterday at a wedding with my buddy Sam. We have a wedding business on the side. That's super fun. Sometimes it's not. But yeah, gone all day, come back, some bread and some soup. Come on now. Come on. Michelin star level bread maker. I completely agree. She's phenomenal. She's a nurse. She can make bread and she can raise a child. I mean, you can't ask for anything else, to be honest. Don't show her this. I don't want her to see that I'm praising her like this. I wish we got more out of the character Winter Soldier when he was brainwashed assassin. That's fair. That's fair. I think the Winter Soldier movie is handled very well. Very well. But that version of him is short-lived. So that's a very fair criticism. I love that movie so much. I don't mind it as much. Thanos really had Infinity War to do all the heavy lifting while he only has 2 cameo appearances in the post-credit scene from the Avengers, which is fun little Easter eggs that they pivoted towards. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But Thanos didn't exist before. I mean, that's where my brain keeps going. It's just bringing back RDJ. And so you're right. It's going to be very similar to the way that they handled Thanos. He's going to get a post-credit scene in Fantastic Four. And now that's going to be the only one, but then they're going to go straight into it with Avengers Doomsday. And so, yeah, I guess that is similar. And so, again, it depends on how they build him up in Doomsday and how they pay off in Secret Wars. It's going to be very similar to what they did with Thanos. So that's a good point to bring up. Here's what I want to talk about. And by the way, let's see how many super chats. Yeah, 3 super chats. We got Paul, Tyler, the Cali Kid. Oh, no, here we go. Cali Kid. didn't get yours yet, and then we'll pivot over to this amazing thing here. I ate bread and toast yesterday with coffee. Thank you so much, Felipe. Bread and toast. Bread toast with coffee. Sounds amazing to me. Okay. The Cali Kid says, Chris Pine would have been a good Dr. Doom. Chris Pine will be a good anything. If you watched our Movie Mode episode, again, Movie Mode, our podcast on YouTube, you can check us out. We'll have a new episode talking about Comic-Con tomorrow. We spent an entire episode ranking the Chris's, okay? So if you search up Movie Mode Pod, we ranked the Chris's. I believe that was episode 3 or 4. And our consensus number one Chris, spoilers for that list, was Chris Pine. I think he's an amazing actor. Diverse, range across the board, plays numerous characters. He can be funny, he can be ridiculous, he can be over the top, and he can be scary. I have a feeling he could pull that off very well. So I completely agree. I think Chris Pine would crush it as Dr. Doom. And again, and I mentioned this before, there is a world where Robert Downey Jr. does his thing as Dr. Doom, and then at the end of Secret Wars, they do away with the multiverse, they pivot back to the Fantastic Four, and there is a world where we get another Dr. Doom casting for this version of the Fantastic Four, their world's Dr. Doom, because I don't think this Doom is going to be the Doom on the world of the Fantastic Four. I don't think he's going to be that. And so I would be open to this Doom going bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Doom. After Secret Wars, then we bring in another actor to play a variant of the character. But then the variants are over because we're stuck on that Fantastic Four world. At that point on, we introduce new characters and we introduce a kind of a reboot of sorts of the MCU. So it's going to be a sad day when that happens, but that's kind of a way to do it. And I hope they do it, man. I really do. CM Punk would have been a good Dr. Doom. I don't have as much context with that. Cillian Murphy would have been a good Dr. Doom. That's kind of who I had in my head. But again, fan casting. You can fan cast all day, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's even cool if they get an unknown or someone who's a little bit smaller to do something like that. I don't even like Wish, but one thing I liked about it was Pine as Magnificent. Oh, yeah. Pine was really good in that movie. He has a good voice. He played a good villain. That's a good villainous performance. That's a great call. I didn't think about that performance from Pine, but he's a good villain. He really is. Collider confirmed today that it was Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four universe, Austin. But did they asked that question, right? Did they ask that question? Because I don't know how they would know that unless they got that out of one of the actors. But maybe they asked Kevin Feige or something like that. And maybe that is the case. But again, this Fantastic Four, they're going to be on their world. They're going to make their way over to the MCU, to our world, and maybe they stay there, right? Maybe something. I just feel like we have to get another variant of Doom down the line played by another actor. Because Robert Downey Jr., I don't think he's going to be here after Secret Wars. I really don't. I think he's done. Of course, I thought he was done in 2019. So what do I know? Nothing. But would Cillian Murphy be interested, though? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's the same thing as Robert Downey Jr., right? Cillian played Scarecrow in Batman, but Downey took time away from superhero movies, went and won his Oscar just to prove he could do it, and now he's going back to the well. And it's not like he's gonna make bank off these movies, but it's not like he needs the money. He doesn't need the money. Look, money's great, and it's your job. You take every opportunity you can to make money, and he's doing that. Good on him. I'd do the same thing, daggone it. But he doesn't need it. I just feel like he has fun with it. And some people were on Twitter telling me yesterday, they're like, Austin, he looks miserable, man. Robert, look at him. He looks miserable. Well, he's not going to be smiling as Dr. Doom. And somebody said, look in his eyes. Austin, he looks miserable. Look in his eyes. You're going to interpret whatever you want. If you hate this decision, you're going to interpret, oh, he's miserable. If you love this decision, you're going to say, oh, look at him. He's having the time of his life. That face, you're going to interpret whatever you want. And I'm doing the same. I think he's enjoying it, but I'm just interpreting. I don't know anything. And so I had people on Twitter, they're like, oh my God, he's so miserable. Look how miserable he is. I'm like, dude, he wouldn't be doing this if he was miserable. He wouldn't do it. He has no reason to do it. He has no reason to come back to it. Yeah, he's going to make a lot of money. He's already made a lot of money. He won an Oscar. Don't tell me you don't know that. Why would he do it if he's miserable? Why would I do anything if I'm miserable? It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Maybe he's miserable. Again, I don't know. I'm just asking all the what I believe to be obvious questions. I think they're obvious questions. Why would he do it if he's miserable? I'm just like, come on, dude. Think. Use your brain. What are we talking about? When RDJ fights Hugh Jackman and Toby, will be absolute cinema. Yeah, that's coming. You can write that down. Bank it. Come back here in 2 years. Tell me I was right. But come on, it's obvious. It's not like I'm making a crazy assumption here. It's very obvious. Who do you think will be the lineup for the next Avengers? It's so tough. It's so tough because there's so many characters now. Well, we know the Fantastic Four are in it. They're confirmed, right? Confirmed Fantastic Four. Clearly, they're going to go with some of these characters that they're focusing on right now, like your Captain Americas, maybe some members of the Thunderbolts that decide to be good boys and good girls. Maybe they'll be in there. And obviously, a lot of the characters in the TV world. I think we'll get White Vision. We'll see where White Vision is, and maybe he'll come back in because we're going to get a White Vision TV show. I think we're going to see Hulk again. I think we're going to see Thor again, to be honest with you. Probably won't get any Guardians. There's a point where you have to stop adding people in. Like Daredevil, he's such a grounded character. I don't know if he's going to be in the Avengers movie. It would be amazing, but you also have to leave room, especially in Secret Wars, for the multiverse aspect and your Tobey Maguires and your Hugh Jackmans. And Deadpool is obviously going to be a big piece of this puzzle. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see the team that they assemble here. Some of them are going to be X-Men. Some of them are going to be Spider-Man. Are we going to see all three on screen together once again? I don't know, man, but the possibilities are endless. I will say this, though. The Russo brothers are back, so don't expect a lot from the Hulk. If there's one thing they got wrong in the MCU, not outside the MCU, if there's one thing they got wrong, it was the way that they handled the Hulk, which I wasn't a big fan of. But you got all the other characters that they kind of crushed, so there you go. RDJ's green suit he was wearing at Comic-Con was made of pure money. Yeah, it was, man. He got all that money now, baby. He had it before, but now he's got even more. What's happening to Thor for the future of the MCU? I don't know. They're going to do a Thor 5. Hemsworth is open for a Thor 5. I think they're going to completely shift the tone again. Look, I love the tone of Ragnarok. I love what they did with Ragnarok. I just don't know if it's going to work ever again. And so at this point, you kind of have to go back to, you kind of got to do something different. Speaking of something different, I want to talk about, let me make sure we don't have any more super chats here. Thor has to hold Deadpool. Oh my God. Yes, I won't speak of the context of that, but oh my God, absolutely 100%. I want to talk about the Fantastic Four. And so you know what? I don't even like the fact that he's my background for this. Let's change the background because I don't appreciate it. There we go. Look at that. Look how small that picture is. Let's make it bigger. There he is. You know what that is? That is a leaked look at our guy, Reed Richards, from the Fantastic Four, played by Pedro Pascal. There were so many cool things that we got from Comic-Con this year. The coolest thing for me before this Avengers news, Avengers Doomsday is an amazing title, and just the idea of Dr. Doom coming in, that probably takes the cake for me beyond just the casting of Robert Downey Jr., but the Fantastic Four first look. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I found the leak video on Twitter, but you could probably just think for a second. Did Austin watch the leaked video on Twitter? Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to confirm that, but maybe I did. So let's talk about what I saw. And again, they haven't really shot too much on this movie. So what they've shot already was probably just for that little Comic-Con teaser. So we don't know if what we saw during Comic-Con is actually going to make its way in the movie. But we do know that the tone is going to be very similar. And the 60s aesthetic that we're seeing in all of these pictures and all of these leaked images and the fantastic car which looks spectacular, by the way. I believe the Fantastic Car is everything I've ever wanted to see in a Fantastic movie. That looks awesome. So they're really adapting the idea and what they talked about on the panel, which is less significant than the pictures, but we can talk about what they talked about on the panel. They're really adapting the idea of what Fantastic Four is, and that's a family. They're a family. He even says it in the footage, Reed Richards, we have to make time for dinner every evening, and we're going to act like a family. We're going to treat each other like a family. And all of the actors on stage made an effort to prove that point over and over. We are a family. They are the first family, Marvel's first family, but they're truly leaning into that. And I love that, right? That's the vibe that I need in a Fantastic Four movie. I just want this movie to make me smile. I want it to allow me to feel that these four love each other and support each other, but also have their differences at times, which we know the Fantastic Four often do. That's one thing that I think the Tim Story movies did do well, is it showcased the differences between the crew, especially Johnny and Ben Grimm's relationship, which was amazing. So I hope we get some more of that in this movie. Also, by the way, we got the subtitle of First Steps. I don't know how to feel about that. It's an odd subtitle. Like, I don't despise it, but it was kind of like the first time we heard Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay, what? Homecoming? Yeah, I guess it's a homecoming, and he's coming home to Marvel, so that kind of applied, but now we're feeling the same way about First Steps. We know it's their first steps, and they go into space, so it's kind of like, oh, first steps in space. That's a funny, interesting thing. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, so I got to get used to this title. Not super upset about it, but I do want to take a look at some of these images. And so what we see in these images, obviously, it's that 60s retro aesthetic. And I don't know if they confirmed, I highly doubt it's going to be exactly like this, with this exact style and, just the look and feel. But if they do keep it this way, then I believe they're onto something. And our director here was involved with WandaVision. And what he did with WandaVision, doing these different decades with these TV shows, and he captured the aesthetic and the vibe and the atmosphere correctly, I believe, with the 50s, 60s, 70s, every single time. He's really leaning into that, because I was watching this footage and it just felt like I was watching something happening from this time period, even with the futuristic look and feel to it. I mean, just look at the costumes and the suits that they are. I mean, that's awesome. That looks like a space suit from that time period, but you're also getting hints and vibes of what inevitably their Fantastic Four suits are going to be. There's Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards and Ben Grimm. I'm so excited for Eben to showcase Ben Grimm, man. I'm feeling that this may be even the best casting of the four, to be honest with you. But just the vibe that I'm getting of these characters in these spacesuits, man, that's the exact vibe of Fantastic Four. And I was so blown away by what I saw here, because they captured the Fantastic Four, the essence of the Fantastic Four, but it looks like it's going to be a distinct and different Marvel movie. Just the vibe and the tone and the music. Let me tell you all, this score, and you could probably find it on Twitter. If you go and look right now, Michael Giacchino is returning to the MCU to score the Fantastic Four. And there's a video floating around of a drone show during Comic-Con where Galactus appears, and Galactus was teased in this footage, peering through two buildings, looked exactly like Galactus, not the poop cloud from the Fantastic Four in the 2000s. And then the Fantastic Four logo appears. But the music that's playing behind it from Michael Giacchino, it is genuinely some of the coolest music I've ever heard in the MCU. And I just got distorted audio for 45 seconds. And it's one of the coolest themes I've ever heard. The actual singers in the background singing Fantastic Four. And it feels like every time the music crescendos, it hits some variation of Fantastic Four or Fantastic Four or something that you could sing along in your head. But when it ultimately crescendos and you get the Fantastic Four, it is so freaking epic. And so to take this colorful, happy 60s aesthetic, this vibe, and to make it epic like that, utilizing one of the master composers who has been a part of a lot of MCU projects, That's the way to do it, man. I really think this is a heavy focus for Marvel right now. Deadpool and Wolverine is redeeming Marvel, okay? At many projects last year, redeemed Marvel. Guardians and Loki Season 2, but it's just been inconsistent, right? It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. Secret Invasion and the Marvels weren't that good. Guardians, Loki Season 2 was great. X-Men 97's awesome. So they are kind of riding a high right now going into Deadpool and Wolverine. But you've got to nail, and we're getting Captain America first, so that has to be good, obviously. But you've got to nail the Fantastic Four. All of their eggs are in this basket because they've never done Fantastic Four right. Fox, I'm looking at you. You've never done Fantastic Four justice. Pixar has a variation with The Incredibles in a way, but Marvel, they've got to nail this. It's Marvel's first family. You've got to nail this. And everything I saw in that footage is just genuinely spectacular. And just to look at a couple more of these photos, don't want to spend too much time on them. And they did this weird thing where, and I don't know if this was going to be in the movie, it could have just been a part of the footage, where they were doing some kind of game show where this girl was choosing between three people that and you've got the Thing sitting there. Now, obviously, they haven't finished the CGI on the Thing, but I see that shape. I see that shape. That's the comic book shape of the Thing. And I think it's the first time we're going to see a Thing that looks like the comic book version of the Thing, which is really cool. The relationship, the romance between Reed and Invisible Woman, not Invisible Girl. I'm assuming they're going to call her Invisible Woman. I don't know. But Vanessa Kirby, oh my God. I mean, oh my God. She is the perfect Sue Storm. I think their relationship, their romance is going to be amazing. I am so excited to see what they do with them together. And then just once again, man, I just look at this picture here and I'm like, that's our team. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling all four of them. You know, we got to see if Johnny Storm's going to be Johnny Storm. They didn't do too much with him, but I'm feeling it, man. So super excited about what I saw, the vibe, the tone, everything about it from the Fantastic Four, man. It looks like it's going to be great. And I've spent a lot of time on this, so apologies, but I've just really wanted them to get it right for so long. And I want to know, when I get into your thoughts inevitably, if you think they're going to get this right, if you think they're going to nail it. And if they are going to be as integral to Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars as I think they are going to be. All right. Let's get back into here and see what you all are saying about them. Got them rock eyebrows. That's important, G. Colby P. You got to get those eyebrows if you're going to nail the Thing, man. The Incredibles was set in a 60s setting as well. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they had that futuristic aesthetic that is so funny that it's carrying over. I mean, that's the right move. You can say they're copying it all you want, but in a way, Incredibles copied Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is kind of the only upcoming project I'm genuinely excited about. That's fair. That's fair. The vibe, the score, everything about it, man, it just feels different. And that's what we want, man. Real James, what's going on, Real James? Their chemistry on the red carpet last night looked great. I completely agree. It looks like they are a family. Off screen, you want a family and that type of relationship off screen. So, you know, they're going to probably bond like that on screen. That's exciting to me. That is so exciting. And so I love that. I love that they cast who they did. You know, it took a little bit of getting used to, but now I'm just super excited about it. Kirby and Pascal have great chemistry. 1,000%. 1,000%. It's going to be generational. I hope, Jack Carter. I hope it's generational. I'm super excited about it. Bro, I'm so hyped for Fantastic Four. That's my most anticipated MCU film project. I think it is too, G. Colby P. I think it's my most exciting, most anticipated, most hyped up. Man, I'm so excited for it. Yes, Dawson, one of my dream watch movies with you or Flickinger. Cook some good food, blow you or Flickinger away. I always love good food, all right? You give me some good food, I'm going to be happy. You give me a good Fantastic Four, I'm going to be even happier. After the Tim Story movies and Fan Four Stick, there's nowhere to go but up. I completely agree. Those Fan Four Stick, or the Fantastic Four movies in the early 2000s, nostalgic, fun, not very good. Okay, even someone who grew up with those movies, I completely agree. Giacchino's score is going to slap so hard. Oh my God, I completely agree. Do you think David Oyelowo should be Kang in Avengers 5 and 6 if you don't know who he is? Yeah. I know David Oyelowo, really good actor. No, I don't think anybody's going to be Kang. I think they're done with Kang. Jonathan Majors ruined it, and so they're not going to recast. They're pivoting. And the fact that they're no longer doing the Kang Dynasty, they have fully pivoted from Kang. Kang's over. Kang is done. This is a character that you had so much of an opportunity to do something cool with, even though it was going to be similar to Thanos, right? Because he's a very similar character, but could bring something new to the table. And what they were going to go up against was going to be epic. But what happened with Jonathan Majors caused Marvel to say, okay, we could recast, or we could just go in a different direction and draw attention away from that due to what actually happened with him in the background. And so they're going that route. They're drawing attention away by bringing back the man that started it all as Dr. Doom. That's the move. Whether you agree or disagree with that, they're pulling the attention away from Kang. And once Doomsday comes out, no one's going to ever remember that they were going to do the Kang Dynasty. And so that's the move. Whether we agree, disagree, that's what they're doing. And I do agree that Doomsday is a sweet title. I wanted to see what was going to happen with Kang, but ultimately, that's not the direction that they're going in. Very happy that they're going to do an origin story again. Yeah, that they're not going to do an origin story again. I agree. There's no need to do that. We know with most of these characters, we kind of know the origins at this point. Austin, did Joseph Quinn's performance in A Quiet Place Day One change your perspective on Johnny Storm's casting? Never saw the film. Yeah, kind of. I feel like he's got more range now than I did before I saw that movie. And I'm not saying he was the most magnificent character I've ever seen. His character was a little, not the best written character in the world, but his performance, he did more than I expected. And so that's positive. And I'm more optimistic now than I was before I saw that movie, for sure. Plus, they fumbled the ball with Kang and Quantumania, so they knew audiences wouldn't care if he was still the big bad. That's kind of true. And I mentioned it before in the stream. I'll mention it again. Quantumania doesn't matter now. So it just doesn't matter. I know RDJ is a legendary actor, but dude, it's just like disrespecting the hero Tony Stark. To understand the MCU multiverse now, I have to remove the nostalgic memories from 2008 to 2019, and I can't. I don't think we have to remove them. I understand what you're saying. But I'm not going to say it's disrespecting Tony Stark until I see the final project. It all depends on how they handle it. They can handle this, respect that version of Tony Stark, and have some amazing emotional moments between our current Avengers, especially the ones who knew Tony Stark, where they now have to go face-to-face with a new version of Tony Stark as Dr. Doom and have to fight and try to kill the man that they once loved. That's epic. But I just don't know if that's going to be handled right in the movie. I hope so, but there is also this, you're walking a tightrope here of kind of crapping on the legacy of Iron Man and what he stood for and Tony Stark. But it would be a cool story, right, if Robert Downey Jr. played one of the most iconic heroes of all time in the MCU, and this universe ended with him playing one of the most iconic villains. That is beautiful. That thought is exciting. I just don't know if they're going to do it. That's the question we are left with. I am really excited. I'm really hyped for the Thunderbolts as well. Florence Pugh said she jumped off the highest building in the world for it. Woo, girly, that's cool. Yeah, Florence Pugh. My goodness. That's awesome. Riders of the Bear and Beef. Yeah, that's exciting. I'm hyped for the Thunderbolts. I can't get super optimistic. Like, I'm not even near my Fantastic Four levels of hype. But maybe I see that trailer and it blows me away. Plus, he's playing Victor Von Doom, not Tony Stark, or bringing Tony back from the dead. I think this is somehow going to be a variant of Tony Stark. So, not the Tony Stark we know, but it's going to be a variant of Tony Stark. It has to be. Because it wouldn't really make a lot of sense if just a Victor Von Doom just looked like Tony Stark. It has to be a variant of Tony Stark. That being said, it's a variant. So it's not the same Tony Stark that we knew. And so, yeah, it's not the same character. Kind of like what they did with Wolverine. But again, that could have went horribly. Didn't. Could have went horribly. This could go horribly. We don't know if it's going to. We don't know. But it's a good point. Do you think it's better to have RDJ back in the MCU as a different character rather than bring him back as fan casting as Tony, given the fact that his age in the multiverse and it was inevitable? Yeah, I'm excited. Now, they still could do a variant of Tony. They could. But I'm just excited they're not going back in time. That was my fear always, that they were going to go back and we're going to go back in time and we're going to pull out the Tony Stark, the ultimate, the
the character that meant the most to this universe and give him one last mission. I don't want that. That's my fear. So I'm happy they're not doing that. But again, I am worried that Robert Downey Jr. is back. It does worry me. Saw a tweet that said there's some wild callback possibilities here. Imagine Loki dropping. You can be damn sure we'll avenge it on Downey's doom. Yeah, no, my brother joked earlier, I hate you 3000, which was pretty funny, to be honest with you. But yeah, they're going to make some callbacks for sure. Also, Stephen McFeely is coming back to write the two Avengers movies. I wonder why Christopher Marcus. Yeah, Marcus and McFeely, they've always been a duo. I wonder why Marcus isn't coming back. I don't know. Maybe he just decided he didn't want to do it. Didn't want to be a part of it. I don't know. That's a very interesting thing to bring up. So we just have Thunderbolts, Cap 4, and Fantastic Four before Doomsday. I believe so. Unless we're missing something, right? I think those are the only ones. Yeah. Man, oh man, we've got a lot to cram pack in those movies for post-credit scenes. That's for sure. I don't think Doom will be a Tony Stark variant. That got separated from Howard Stark, sent to Latveria. Oh, I think Doom will be a Tony Stark, sent to Latveria and named Victor Von Doom as a baby. That's a way to do it. That's a way to do it. If they do that, that's it. Because it's still a Tony Stark variant. But he ultimately becomes Victor Von Doom. That's a way to do it. And that would make a lot of sense, Bryce. I like where your head's at. You work for Marvel? We got a worker for Marvel here. Possibility of Loki coming back in Secret Wars or Doomsday? Yeah, for sure. The possibility's open where we left off at Loki season 2, even though, again, it was a beautiful ending. But with the multiverse, you never know. Hey, Austin Burke, this is not a question, but a what if. What would happen if Joker from DC found a way to travel to the multiverse and end up in the Marvel universe? That'll never happen. That would be insane. But, it is cool to see what DC's doing, because DC is going with a different approach. They have other universes, other contained universes. They've got their Joker universe. They've got the Batman universe. And then they've got their main timeline of the DCU. But those will never intersect or connect. I don't think they'll ever do a multiverse thing like Marvel. They tried to do that in the DCEU. Didn't work. And so now they're pivoting and keeping this DCU contained. So we're never going to see Michael Keaton back. We're never going to see Ben Affleck back. It's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. Don't reveal my secrets, Austin. You work for Marvel. I knew it. Do you think the new Avengers lineup can reach anywhere near the previous team? I mean, I doubt it, but anything's possible. Anything's possible. I thought at the beginning of the stream you can't talk more than just the MCU. What are we talking about here? DCU? That's still superheroes. It's still Comic-Con related. Yeah, that's still the same thing. Yeah. Okay, trying to get me on my rules here. It's my stream. I can do what I want. Let's see. Will the Blade film be getting released in 2026? No way. This movie is coming out in 2025. Yeah, no way. No way. So Blade, I don't know when we're getting Blade, because he didn't talk about Blade, so I don't know. Mahershala Ali's going to be, my boy's going to be 80 by the time this movie releases. So, yeah. Have you seen the trailer for We Live in Time? Yeah, that looks interesting. It does kind of look like a prepackaged, a repackaged movie that we've seen before, but the actors, the performances, possibly that we get, and could be a very emotional story. So, yeah, I think those two phenomenal, Garfield and Hugh, they're gonna absolutely crush it. Kevin Feige got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Yeah, I saw. That's awesome. He deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. Were you in LA last week? I saw a guy at Venice Beach skating park who looked like you. I was not in LA, Nicholas Joseph. I wish I was. Would have been cool. I bet Blade's already been filmed. Yeah, I don't think so. They would have mentioned it at Hall H yesterday. Haven't you heard there's only been one Blade and there's only going to be one Blade? I have heard that rumor floating around the internet. And I completely know what you mean there. Let's see here. What movies are you looking forward to this month? Alien, Romulus, and Trap. Yeah, those are the two, man. I tell you what, just to pivot real quick and going away from my rules that I've already established for myself, but I'm doing it anyway. It's my stream. I'm looking forward to Alien, Romulus. I'm looking forward to this movie, man. Looks really good. I loved the trailer. I love what they're doing with the vibe and the tone of the film. The atmosphere seems impeccable. And I love what this director's done before. So sign me up, man. Sign me up for Alien Romulus. Don't know if I'm going to get a screening. Haven't heard anything. But if I do, I may make the drive for that one. I don't think John will. So you won't be seeing me and John. But Borderlands and Trap looks great as well. Shyamalan, of course. Borderlands. I don't know, man. I don't know about Borderlands. It looks like discount Guardians. But so did Dungeons and Dragons. And that was great. So maybe it's more of a Dungeons and Dragons than a complete disaster. Yes, and I need to see Sing Sing. It's not come to a theater near me yet, surprisingly. Sing Sing, I saw it at the AMC, beautiful 5 stars. God, I want to see this movie, man. Everybody's talking it up. I don't know, man. I don't know when I'm going to see it, but I hope to get to see it. All right, guys. So we are almost through here. We've talked about a lot of stuff. We got 71 viewers. If you guys want to drop a like real quick, we're at 50. Which is awesome. I'm happy with that. But if you want to drop a like on this video, I'll answer some more questions. We'll talk a little bit more here. That would mean a ton to me. Helps the video, helps the channel. And I want to say thank you all for everyone who tuned into my videos this weekend, specifically last night with Robert Downey Jr. For all of you who liked the video and left a comment, man, thank you so much. Those help so much. You guys have no clue. So anytime you guys feel like a video warrants a like, I appreciate it. The channel appreciates it, man. You guys are awesome. You've asked some amazing questions today, truly, and I've enjoyed this. Last chance. I'm going to say last chance. So drop it a like, drop it a sub. Last chance to get super chats in because we're wrapping this thing up here in just a minute or two. So let's answer a couple of these random ones. And Austin, I dare you to dance to Bye Bye Bye. I do not have those moves. I do not have the moves necessary. I wish I did. Charlie Cox confirmed Daredevil will be a big player in the Avengers. Okay, cool. If he did, I didn't hear that. But if he did, awesome. Hopefully Romulus will be the first good Alien movie since Alien. Sorry, Prometheus fans. Yeah, I don't hate the first Prometheus, but it doesn't really feel like an Alien movie. Let's see. Any thoughts about the Presumed Innocence finale? Oh, Jake, yeah. I do have some thoughts. I'm thinking about doing a quick YouTube short on the finale of Presumed Innocence. So stay tuned. I don't know if notifications work for those videos, but stay tuned because I'll probably have a short on that. Austin should be the best RDJ Tony Stark movies. Should be the best RDJ Tony Stark movies. I don't know exactly what that means, but I love RDJ's Tony Stark. Feige got his star the day after I left LA, was on vacation. Oh, man, that's all right. Well, at least you got to go to LA. That's still cool. That's disgusting. Let's not do that. That's how you get banned. Rad already ruined Uncharted, Spider-Man 3, Monster Hunter, now Borderlands. Yeah, Avi Arad. A lot of people aren't a big fan of Avi Arad as a producer. Can't believe they only sent the critics every episode but the finale. Yeah, for Presumed Innocence. Still weird that they didn't send us the finale. I don't know. Alien, I think, is the only one I'm excited for in August. I would be excited for My Hero Academia's movie, too, but it only releases in Japan next month. We have to wait till October. Yeah, that's usually how they do it with, like, anime and anime films. And G. Colby P. says, plot twist, Joseph Quinn is playing a Tony Stark variant since he looks like a young RDJ. Now, that would be absolutely insane. G. Colby P. All right, guys. Listen, barring any more super chats, what a stream. What a huge stream. What a massive series of events and sequence of announcements and news things that we got yesterday, man. It's insane. It's insane. So thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you'd like another separate news video or this and that, but I do want to give a shout out to two things that are happening that you can still tune into that I'm super excited for. The first one is Movie Mode. We got a brand new episode of the Movie Mode podcast tomorrow where Ryan and I will heavily debate. We're talking a title match between Austin and Ryan, talking about this Robert Downey Jr. crazy casting announcement. So get excited for that. It's going to be awesome. And then tonight, if you type in Pop X Cast, that is Pop X Cast on YouTube tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be going live and talking full spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine. So go over to that channel, turn on notifications, all those things. But man, to everybody who's been supporting our podcast, Movie Mode, seriously, thank you all. Our numbers, never expected our numbers in a million years. And we put up our spoiler review yesterday. Let's go see. I'm going to go see how good that one did. Our audio numbers have been good. So if you guys enjoy like Apple Podcasts and Spotify podcasts, the audio feed is where it's at. But our Deadpool and Wolverine review, man, yeah, we're doing so much better than I ever imagined we would on those videos. So thank you all so much for tuning into that. So Movie Mode podcast, man, brand new episode every single week. This week you got 3 new episodes of Movie Mode. Incredible. Thank you guys so much for the love, the support. Ryan appreciates it. You can also follow Ryan, Rewatch Ryan on YouTube, and myself, of course. But I would love to know what you all would like to see from me next, whether it be movie reviews or a countdown. We can do another MCU ranking. We can do something crazy. To everybody who left super chats today, time for their shout outs. Paul, Tyler, the Cali kid. Paul, man, we did so many just incredible topics. We hit so many topics today, man. Well, I'm kind of worn out, to be honest with you. I don't know if I can I podcast again tonight? Am I up for it? I have no clue. G. Colby P said X-Men ranking. Yeah, we're going to try to do that maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. That's the goal. One final Fox X-Men ranking. Since this was a celebration of Fox, broad Fox, but the Fox X-Men specifically. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for being awesome. Stay tuned to all of the stuff we got on multiple channels, and go check out my spoiler review on this channel, my Deadpool ranking on this channel. They were posted this weekend. All right, I think that's it. Is that it? What else do we got here? Yep, Movie Mode. Let's see what else you got. We got, will you promise to answer my questions next stream? Sonic Boom fan, calm down. I'll get you eventually. I got as many as I could. Maybe if you would have super chatted, I would have gotten it. But you know, I answered some questions. Buy and try. Well, let's see. Buy. Oh, thank you for the birthday wishes, guys. I promise my next stream I'll have some glasses that aren't broken. So, so hopefully I'll be able to see a lot better and answer your questions, even better than I did today, which was terrible, probably. G. Colby P says Mark Wahlberg is Dr. Doom. I would love to play Dr. Doom. I think it would be awesome. I feel like I would be running from Transformers the whole time, but then I'd be Dr. Doom, so I'd have the electrical powers, and maybe instead of killing the Transformers, I could power up all the bad Transformers and bring Megatron back to life with my super lightning powers, and we could fight all of the good Transformers, the Autobots, with the Avengers, and we got a full Paramount crossover. I think it would be the craziest things ever, and the whole time, I'd have my teddy bear, Ted. He'd be with me. We'd be talking, have a full conversation. It'd be crazy. I heard they got him. That's a reference to the Ted TV show. All right, I am so sorry for that. That's embarrassing. I am embarrassed. I'll see you soon. Actually, you know what? I'm back. Dr. Doom kills Pepper. Oh, crazy. I'm going to go kill her. I'm going to snap her neck. I'm going to take her head off. I'm going to do one snap, and I'm only going to kill Pepper Potts because I'm so pissed off at Pepper Potts because I used to be good Tony Stark, and now I'm bad Tony Stark, and now I'm Dr. Doom. And so I'm like, all I want to do is gather all the variants of Pepper Potts and see which one I'm most attracted to, and that will be my sidekick because I'm Dr. Doom, I'm Tony Stark, and I'm Mark Wahlberg. There we go. Thank you so much.